Hey, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to talk about a very specific task that you can see on the screen. This is called the Google Gemini logo. You may have seen this on Google Docs. So whenever we hover over it, so it does some kind of animation. And this is really cool, right? It spins and you see that circle coming up. That circle has a gradient that's animating and it is transforming into various shapes, and whenever you hover out it just goes back and you see the color also changes. I mean, this is really good, right? So let's just think, and first let's just try to understand what could be happening. What I see is that there are various shapes. So the first thing that came into my mind, and I will just show up the code pen here. Don't worry about all the code that's commented out, just look at this button and it has written we start with this. So I'm going to start with this. And the thinking that comes here is, why can't we use the D path? And what is the D path? I will just showcase or show here. I will be using the MDN web docs for this. So it is the path of D attribute in MDN. So this is the D of SVG, and the D attribute is nothing when you it is just the path inside the SVG, and this is the attribute, and this dictates or decides how the uh, SVG would be drawn. And this thing can be changed. I mean, this attribute value can be changed using CSS. I mean, you can change it, and this is what I am finding here. I mean, if this was a path, then I could have just simply changed it by using CSS. And maybe I could use it, maybe I could just animate or play with the path. But the problem was, as I wrote there, not supported in Safari. Let's just see what's the case here. And yeah, the D attribute path property in CSS to change the path is not supported in Safari. And this no is I mean, a stopper for us that we cannot use this solution. So what else did I wrote here? Can't use border radius. Let's see. So I will just go to a fancy border radius site called 9 elements. It's a very good site. I can generate some shapes, right? I will go to the full control. Yeah, there are some shapes that I could do, but I don't think that I can do the let it just be back. Yeah, this thing, this flower kind of a thing, and I don't think I can do that hexagon either. So I can't use this. I can't use border radius, right? And the next thing that was, let's just use clip path. And what is a clip path? So I will just go to a clip path generator site so you can just see. I forgot the name, so I will just go to, yeah, this one, CSS plant. So we can use clip path, right? We can just, because it can be if I remember correctly, you can use a pen tool here, so you can just make any shape. Right now this is showcasing like these shapes are possible, but to be honest, clip path you can do any shape. And how can we do it? Let's go to MDN web docs again, and yeah, let's just keep I would say, before going into code, you should always try to be diverse. Think of all what can happen. You could take a time, pause it, pause the video whenever you want, think of all the ways that could happen. And yeah, here I found it. We could use the path inside of clip path. Unlike the svgd attribute, this path is supported. Let's just see the moment of truth. So this path is supported by Safari, and good. It's not animatable by Safari. Yeah, I know that these are some of the problems that could happen, but I don't care because I am just changing the shapes around. I'm just changing them. I'm seeing almost little to no animation between the change of shapes. They just happen, and I could use it. I can use this D attribute of SVG, and I could make a solution that works on Chrome, Safari, Firefox, can be tested in every browser that you want, and things like that. And let's just go for it. So I will just see first. I have added a reference image. This is the same image that was shown on the Google Docs. This is something that you see on here. This is something that you see when you have Gemini enabled on your Google Docs, and it just gives this nice looking animation, the sleek animation that we want to achieve here. And the next thing I'm going to do is, I know that there are multiple shapes, right? So I will just head over to Figma, and I have some of these shapes drawn, but I'm going to showcase how to make each of them. First, let's start with the most good looking Gemini thing, and I think you could figure it out how we can make it, but I will still show you. And here's the thing, I will be creating a rectangle, and I will be making it a circle like this with the radius, then another circle here, and I will be copying both of them and here. Are you able to see it? I think you are able to see it, right? So this can fit in here. Yeah, I could change the size and make it fit exactly right in, but the purpose is to just show that this is possible. And I will just make a frame, and this is my frame, and I will just put all of them inside this frame. And yeah, I'm not happy with this, but I think that if I play with the positioning, I can just do something about it. Yeah, yeah. So mostly it is satisfied, but the thing is, I will just group all four of them. It's still not done. And I will group them, and I will just make a rectangle of the size of this. And now I need to pick both the group and this. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make an exclude section, and this gets excluded. And now I will just change the color of the excluded region that I want to obviously this color. The color that you see in this is the same color that you see in this, is the same color that I picked here, and this more or less looks good. I think this was made with more accuracy because I took the screenshot and just placed it and did some things. So, but yeah, this looks good. And let's think, how can we make this? I think it's a no-brainer, so I'm not going to make this. But how can we make this one? And I think you got the hint. It says star, means it has been made using this star. It means if I do this, it doesn't look like a star, because it has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 sides. And right now I can change it here. I could have changed there as well. And right now also it doesn't look like a star, but if I change the radius, and here we go. So I can make this shape too, right? This is done. I don't think I need to show you a circle. I will still show this one. It's a rectangle. I'm just drawing rectangle. I think all Figma designers do is, I think I'm hurting myself by saying this, but all they do is draw rectangles all day. And yeah, and this one is another, you guess what, rectangle. And this time it has a higher number of sides. Oh wait, this is not a rectangle. Finally something different. It's a polygon, and it's a polygon with 1 2 3 4 5 6 sides. So I will make it 6 sides, and I will make the radius go like this, and we are done. We have all the various shapes that we wanted, and some of these shapes, so that all of them are center aligned, would be put in a frame so that all of them have the same sizing, so there is no sizing issues whenever we are changing between shapes. What do I mean is, let's say the first shape is like this and the second shape goes like this, then you would be having some troubles, right? So all the shapes would be almost of the same height, and whenever the width is not same, at least they lie in the same frame size, a squarish frame size, so that all of them can be conveniently changed without a problem. So I'm going to make this in a frame, and I'm going to make this and delete this and put this. I'm doing it in a very quick and dirty manner. I know I am not naming them and things are getting messy, but yeah. So this is good. This was showcased, and now I'm going to head over. I could have shown you that I'm going to export them as an SVG, And also I could have shown you that I'm going to flatten them so that instead of showcasing something like rect or circle or polygon in the SVG tags, it would just showcase a path with a D attribute, the D attribute of the path. And why I'm doing this, I told you I'm going to use clip path, but I'm going to use clip path with the twist. I'm going to use clip path with the path that is provided by the SVG that comes from here. And if you don't understand, just keep a look. So I'm going to flatten it, and the thing that I'm going to do is this. And when I export this, so and this goes as polygon 3, I will just name it just exported, so you know it's the newer one. And I'm going to open this in, where is my file now? And it's, I think, in Gemini. Yeah, just exported is here. I will just open it in VS Code, and this has a path with a D attribute instead of a rect or some other tags. And I will copy this and I will just showcase what do I mean. So this particular thing, I will just paste it like this. Don't worry about the properties that are written, they cannot hurt you. And I'm going to make a div here, div and tab, and this div would be of a width. I'm not going to use inline size, block size right now, but I should be. Sometimes I love those properties, those are more logical in a sense, they care about language and so, but yeah, not needed. Background would be black. And what do I have here? Do I have the button? Yeah. And now I'm going to use this stunning property that I have in clip path with a path, and you see the magic. You tell me if it's magic or not. So we have this black magic here. Yeah, I know that the sizing was a bit different than the exported SVG. I will just say this is 318, 317, something like that. So I will just use here 318 pixel. That's why you need to be careful of the size when you are exporting. And 318 pixel. And yeah, yes, it looks good. I mean, we can do this. We can use a combination of CSS and SVG, bring the best of both worlds and get it done. So now when you have this much of understanding, what I'm going to do is uncomment just the HTML. I will not going to touch the very weird looking CSS right now, and just the HTML, just the SVG of the HTML here. And this is the same SVG of the Gemini that I made here. So we start with this. I can remove this. We start with this, and this has already a title tag. This is for accessibility purposes, and the button is clickable. Yeah, it looks good. It has the, it doesn't look so good, but yeah, it has the thing that we want. And I'm just going to uncomment this thing out, which says position, a border, a cursor pointer, removes the appearance that we had, because we need our own this kind of appearance. Yeah. And sizing, which is 243, not very good sizing, it could have been 250, but yeah, this is how I exported in the first place, so don't mind. And background of transparent, I could have written background color transparent, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine, background was fine. So now I'm going to uncomment this background thing, which is the background of this Gemini logo here. And let's just see what happens. And here I'm going to uncomment this background. No, I'm not going to uncomment because it is some black magic is happening there. I'm not going to show it. Yeah, this one. And this background has a position of absolute, sizes of 0, okay, display of block, not sizes of 0, positioning of starting top and left at 0, and sizes of height and width of 243, transformation 50% so that it can go right behind it, and a background color that was defined by this, and a scale of 0, so it is not appearing, that's why it is not appearing. But it also needs these properties. These, what are these properties? These are percentages, right? Yeah, these are to animate those gradients that were looking so stunning here. and they cannot be animated without the property attribute. And if you haven't seen that, there was a video where I was doing this whole property attribute thing with the Google Gemini logo, and you would be very fascinated to watch this. I will link it in the comments. And yeah, so I have all of these property values that will dictate me or tell me that yeah, 100% or 0% is the background image gradient value, and I can later change it to play with the background gradient. I do not worry about it right now. And this clip path, and just so that we can see what it is, this I'm going to make it appear. And yeah, we have something, yeah. It is showcasing us this blue box with the background, with the clip path that was a path of a circle that we exported by flattening the circle that we got from a rect that was made in Figma. And this scaling will happen actually dynamically. Why? Because whenever I place my cursor over this, then it opens up. So I'm going to scale it as 0, and just keep watching. I'm going to make it 1 here by uncommenting this much. And yeah, it shows something not as good as I wanted it to be, because it is hiding my uh, Gemini logo. It is coming on top of it, but we will deal with that. So what's the next thing? The next thing is to make the Gemini logo positioned like this. So we have this class Gemini on SVG that I'm going to use as positioning. So I'm going to position both my background and my uh, Gemini logo this on based of this button as a relative position. So my button will be having relative, yeah, somewhere here, and I'm going to absolutely position both of these childs. So now it is appearing. There is a mixed blend mode plus lighter which is lightening it. And what if I uncommented this part so that we can have a rotation? So here it is the code, and what will happen is uh, yeah, yeah, it's good, right? It is rotating. It's rotating, and yeah, it's also having a brightness of 4, and I'm able to see some of my effect, but where's the rest of my effect? I need all of this, right? Let's see how can we do this. So I have these keyframes path that are going to change the shape for me, and I have all of the path exported the way that I showed you in the very first part or segment of the video. And I have all of the path that are animating with the animation attribute or the keyframe attribute value path, and there is an animation name of path that is happening on the background just as we hover over it. So the shapes are changing now. But what is not happening? What is not happening is the background colors are not appearing, and these things should be rotating, right? Yeah. Are we going in the right direction? Yes. Have we accomplished it? Almost. So let's keep going. In the next phase, I'm going to add a rotating class, and I will just showcase to you how it has uh, been animating. So I'm actually running two animations. A path animation that is changing the path based on 10 seconds, and the rotation on 7 seconds. You can just play with the timings. I have just or based on my attention to detail, I have just changed them. You could have made both of them 10, or you could have just put them together and in the same keyframe or whatever you like. So yeah, but now I have them rotate, and it looks so beautiful. See how it's rotating. Wow. And let's keep going, and I'm going to now do something like I'm going to change the background color variables that I showcased to you in the very first part. And these were the background color variables, and this is how I'm going to change the value properties here. So let's take a look. Wow. And we have done it. This is what I wanted to showcase to you. I wanted you to embrace this UI, how good it looks. The original Googlers who would have made it, they made such a beautiful interaction design, and the UXC or whoever is involved in the front end did so good of a job in making this happen on the web. And I mean, even in other places, if they have made a Flutter version or something like that. But yeah, it looks so good, and we were able to achieve the same effect. I will be linking this code pen in the description, and you can just enjoy it. And I think that is more or less everything I wanted to showcase. So, in the closing statement, I want you to just embrace UI and care about it. Always take a very deep look at what is happening. Pay an attention to all the detail. Like, we have this circle that is going on the middle side, and we have it rotating in the way that we want it, and we have this thing whole rotating, and we have the color changing. There is so many things that are happening, and we showed the code in fragments so that it does not be, it would be simple and digestible, right? So yeah, this is how you should be caring about UI. One last thing I wanted to showcase, and thank you for watching this. That would be the end of the video, but there is just one thing I wanted to showcase is this stunning, remarkable book by O'Reilly. This is the Web Accessibility Cookbook, and I really love it. And the reason I wanted to showcase to you is because I earned it. This has come from the author manual. I actually, what I did was I professionally reviewed his book on accessibility, and I love this accessibility field. So he has written, I will just tell you, yes, stay curious and keep trying to make the web a better place, and that's what I am doing. And his signature on the 10th of January 2025, and I'm really happy that it reached to me, and I'm really happy that I have this. This would be just the biggest sentiment, the biggest thing that I have got so far in my life, and I'll just keep it close to me and try to make the web a better place. Thank you so much for watching, and see ya.